Welcome to the Rainwater Ranch.
I'm Lauren Rainwater.
I'm Coltin Rainwater.
And I'm originally from Arab, and he is originally from
Albertville.
Yeah.
So Lauren and I met back when we were in high school. I was actually with a buddy at an Arab football game, and
it was my senior night.
Yep, I was there to actually see another girl, and this cheerleader I met her through my friend that night. Wound up getting her number and talking to her for a little while, and
he was 15 and I was 17.
Yeah, so I got me an older woman, and it was all history from there. We got married when I was 19 and you were 21, and it's just been nothing but bliss ever since.
We were married for 5 years, and then we had our son Maverick.
Yep.
And
he has just turned 5.
Yep, just turned 5, and so we've been married almost 10 years now.
Yep.
And we have a little girl on the way, so we're super excited about that. We moved to Cullman about 6 years ago, I guess. You can kind of tell the story of how we ended up here.
I applied for a job as an apprentice lineman in 2015. I'd been on the road working as a contractor and was lucky enough to get a job here in Cullman.
We bought a house in Holly Pond and renovated it for almost a year. Thanks to you and our family, it was all hands on deck for that. And so we moved, I think it was November of 2015, and I was teaching in Albertville at the time. I finished up my year there in Albertville, and I got a job at West Point. And so I was there for 5 years, and just made the move to Parkside for this year. So we super love the community, and knew that once we got here that we would probably always be here. We would put our roots here.
Was a apprentice for 4 years, then topped out and was a lineman for about 6 months or so after that, and applied for a staking job. It was a good opportunity and time to move into that, just from the standpoint of learning a completely different side of the business. You know, getting involved more with the community and taking the knowledge that I had from being in the field and applying that to the design side of things. I felt like I could be a useful tool to help better the design process and the thought process behind that. And it has been extremely, extremely beneficial to me, just learning a completely different side of the company that I didn't ever know before.
So I chose to become a teacher because I am totally obsessed with kids. They are my thing. And so from the time I was little, I knew that teaching would probably be my profession. I went to Jacksonville, got my degree in early childhood and elementary education. And for the first 4 years, I was a kindergarten teacher. And then after that, I moved up to first and second grade. Spent 3 years in second grade before moving to Parkside, and then I finished at 6th grade math and science. So I went into the middle school world, and just being able to get to connect with their families has been probably one of the greatest joys that's brought me, even our family. Maverick and Coltin are always involved in going to see my kids' ball games or anything like that. So just getting to connect with birthday parties, fiestas.
Yep.
And so being able to connect my family with the families of my students has probably brought more joy in my life professionally and personally than I could ever imagine.
So I'm a deacon at our church. I teach a D group, which is a small group on Sunday nights, comprised of mainly men that are the same age. I also teach middle school boys Sunday school every other Sunday.
In that class.
Yeah, Laura's my little enforcer in there. I also coach Maverick's baseball team, t-ball team right now, and that's kind of like herding cats. If you hadn't ever done that before, I strongly suggest giving that a try.
It'll build some character for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I got involved at our gym, Tally Ho Fitness, where I coached CrossFit classes for a couple of years. I kind of backed away from that just because things did get busy, but I maintained what is one of my favorite, I guess, side things that I do, which is nutrition coaching. So being able to have that side of things and being able to pour into people has been really fun. So I've had a blast.
The whole idea from the ranch all started when we first moved here to Cullman.
Farming and agriculture have always been a part of our lives.
Yeah.
I grew up with living on a cattle and poultry farm. My dad had chicken houses and always had cattle. Your father had
We
cattle
had cows
for,
when I was young, and then my grandparents had chicken houses as well.
Your dad's always been in the poultry business. So
Yeah.
just having that influence in our life, we knew, even from marriage or even
Yeah.
dating, we knew that eventually we would want to end up on a farm.
That was our
just
goal
took
at
some
some
time.
point. That's right. So when Lauren and I knew that this was going to happen, we started looking at what was our goals. You know, how are we going to use the land, and how can we take and bless other people by using the land?
Yeah, it gets, sometimes you have to think out of the box. Like I remember just talking to him about it and praying about it, like, Lord, how do we use 60 acres and cows to bring you glory? Like that seems so crazy, but how can we do it? And so I remember we were driving down the driveway to the ranch, and you mentioned, what do you think about selling beef to the public?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, like let's do it.
Yeah.
And so from that moment, we knew that we wanted to get into the business of producing super clean, all natural, hormone, antibiotic free beef, non-GMO beef, stuff that we would be willing to put in our son's body, you know, give him to eat, just things that you can't get at the grocery store. And so we agreed on that, and then kind of started the process for that. But then I would just remember thinking, like, Lord, we need more. Like, how can we give back, like literally give back to our community? Yes, we are doing that as a business, but what is something we can do to give back and show our appreciation, not only to you, God, but to our community? And so we're going to be starting something this year. This is the first year that our beef will be available for sale. So along with that, we'll be donating our first cow to 4 families each year as just a visual representation of our commitment to serve God and our community first and foremost. So we're super excited about that.
Goose is a herd bull.
Goose is our herd bull,
Yep.
like we said.
My father-in-law called me one morning, and there had been a lightning storm the night before, and he says, hey, I've got a little bull calf that his mom got struck by lightning and killed her. He said, I'm going to put him up and bottle feed him. What do you think about, you know, maybe that being start of y'all's herd or whatever? And I said, yeah, absolutely.
Because he was super little, so we gave him his kind of milk. This is my favorite.
Him and Maverick's kind of got a special bond even to this day. Maverick will take and can go out there, and Goose will come up to him. I cautioned him about that with him being a wild animal. There's still the opportunity that, you know, 800-900 pound bull you don't want to take and play with. So
you can definitely tell that he remembers.
he knows Maverick and comes to him still when he comes out in the pasture. And so he's going to be the foundation, like Lauren said, for our herd, so that we can take and have mamas that produce good young calves that will wind up producing the beef that we're looking to sell and donate to those families every year.